Our sign language interpreter is Anne Wangeshi. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua now says that the government will roll out stringent measures to stem the sale of illicit brews and drugs starting next week. Gachagua says that it will not be business as usual for dealers in the illicit brew, a business that has allegedly thrived on the souls of hapless Kenyans. Gachagua spoke even as a high court in Kiambu ruled that Moratina is not an illicit brew.
The debate on the sale of illicit brews took center stage in separate functions attended by the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua in Nandi County. The Deputy President was categorical that the government will not entertain the manufacture and sale of illicit brews.
Hii pombe karibu tuangaishe. Vijana walikuwa wanakunywa, wanalala kwa mtaro. Ameoa juzi bibi yako kwa kitanda, yeye analala chini ya kitanda. Sasa hiyo ni bomba gani? Akina mama wanalia. So, hiyo tumesema pombe haramu hatuwezi kubali.
Gachagua saying the government is working on tougher interventions that will be implemented by respective government agencies from next week.
Na wiki inakuja tutatangaza hatua kali ile tutachukua. Na ile maneno tumepanga, hii watu nauza hii pombe haramu ni Kenya watahama. Watahama hii Kenya. Tutatangaza.
Separately, a section of the Kikuyu elders from Kiambu County lauded the ruling by Kiambu High Court that the popular Kikuyu traditional brew, Moratina, is not an illicit drink. The elders, however, said they will take responsibility in regulating the practices and use of the brew.
Wale wanataka kupika wata-apply kwa hawa watu, kwa hiyo chama. Ndio itashughulika kuona huyo mtu kama amefaa au hafai. Wakiona hafai, hawatampatia barua. Lakini akionekana anafaa, ako na tabia mzuri, atatii sheria ya Wakikuyu na ya serikali, huyu ako sawa.
Police officers in Juja, Kiambu County have seized more than 8,000 liters of industrial ethanol that is believed to be a key ingredient in the manufacture of most counterfeit alcoholic drinks. Confirming the seizure, Kiambu County Commander Michael Mushiri said they will leave no table unturned in the crackdown.
Na hii lita 9,000 ni ethanol ambayo ingetengeneza products ama pombe ambayo inakisiwa kuwa ya kama milioni 70 million. Na kutegezwa kwa hiyo pombe ni pombe ambayo hakika ni haijulikani usafi wake na ni sumu.
On Monday next week, the Deputy President is expected to preside over an alcohol and drug abuse conference in Mombasa to intensify the war against the menace in the region and nationally. Parsa Frederick, Legends Edition.
The Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary says it requires 735 million shillings to facilitate Musalia Mudavadi while on his official duties both locally and abroad. The office's Chief of Staff, Joseph Busiega, while appearing before the National Assembly's Administration Committee, said the current budgetary allocation to Mudavadi's office is not enough to facilitate his foreign relations duties.
The Office of Prime Cabinet Secretary, led by Chief of Staff Joseph Busiega, appeared before the National Assembly Administration Security Committee to justify the need for an additional 843 million shillings on top of 1.5 billion shillings allocated by Treasury for the year 2024-2025. Busiega submitted that the underfunding will affect, among other priorities, facilitation of Musalia Mudavadi to perform official duties locally and abroad.
The Prime Cabinet Secretary is usually allocated functions by His Excellency the President to visit various parts of the country, both internal and outside. And so the resources that were required for this, Honorable Chair, were 735 million.
4 months ago, Mudavadi was handed the foreign and diaspora docket following a mini cabinet reshuffle by President William Ruto. Further, through Executive Order No. 2 of 2023, the President directed Mudavadi to lead the implementation of labor migration policy as a key pillar of Kenya's foreign policy. The Office of Prime Cabinet Secretary argues the 433 million shillings allocated for facilitation of Mudavadi is inadequate and it requires an additional 300 million shillings.
These resources, Honourable Chair, Honourable Members, are resources that are required to facilitate the Prime Cabinet Secretary while on official duty and while representing His Excellency the President, and also on state functions which are both locally and abroad, Honourable Chair.
But the lawmakers questioned the rationale for the allocation, since the facilitation is done by the Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs.
The ratio of travels, mostly foreign travels, are catered through that vote. Why do you think it's necessary again to put a huge amount of money, 400 plus? You know, if like, of course, you're double enrolled, it does not necessarily mean that you must also double the resources allocated to. You know, with the due respect, and I hope nobody can misunderstand.
The MPs instead want the funds directed to the National Government Coordination Secretariat that coordinates the implementation of policies by ministries and state departments. Gishoki Washira, Legends Edition.
President William Ruto has called for responsible and sovereign lending by international financial institutions. The president, who spoke during the memorial service of the late president of Namibia, Hage Geingob, this evening in Windhoek, Namibia, said African countries must forge unity of purpose to transform the continent into the next epicenter of the Industrial Revolution.
In Windhoek, Namibia, in the memorial service of deceased president of Namibia, Hage Geingob, President William Ruto, while describing him as a Pan-Africanist, demanded fair and responsible lending by the international financial institutions.
We must work together to make sure that we execute the reform of the international financial architecture so that we can liberate our economies from debt, so that we can demand that as nations we are not profiled negatively.
He argued if Africa focused on reinventing itself, it would be the next epicenter of the Industrial Revolution.
We must stand together with one voice to reform our Africa Union, to make it fit for purpose, so that we can march into the future as the epicenter of green manufacturing, position ourselves with our resources, enormous resources.
While calling for reform of the African Union, the head of state also urged Africa to unite and together for the path towards prosperity through building its economy and liberating itself from poverty.
And natural resources that we have, we cannot certainly be a continent defined by poverty. We must be a continent defined by opportunity, by potential, and by investment.
Giverson Minor, Legends Edition.
Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka has lauded Azimio One Kenya Alliance members of Parliament for what he is calling bravery during the debate and passage of the tax-related bills in Parliament. Kalonzo, who was attending the burial of Mama Wayo Mwanzi at Mai village in Mwingi Central, says the members of Parliament portrayed an immense sense of leadership by standing in the minority with the majority of Kenyans who are being overtaxed. He further added that Azimio will continue fighting for Kenyans who are being oppressed and that they will move across the country to sensitize Kenyans on the same.
You make us proud. I'm your party leader. Mulionekana pale mukipigwa picha. Mumekasirika because you have been on the side of the Kenyan people. over this high taxation. Round 2 of impossible taxes. Mzigo ambao wananchi hawatavumilia. Nyinyi mkatoka, mkijua pengine watapitisha tu.
The government is seeking collaboration with cyber security experts to shore up capacity amid increased cases of cyber threats. Deputy Director of Cybersecurity at ICT Authority, Philip Irode, says a shortage of cyber professionals and the vulnerability of smaller companies relying on IT outsourcing are among the factors fueling threats that can be hacked by building local capacity.
The latest statistic from the ICT Ministry says Kenya suffered a loss of at least $153 million to cybercrime, which is projected to rise by 14% annually as the country faces a severe deficit of cybersecurity expertise, with less than 2,000 experts compared to the needed 40 to 50,000.
Because this is an area that has continuously had a deficit or a shortage of skilled professionals who can be in a position to defend and protect our systems.
Speaking during a cybersecurity masterclass dubbed Africa Hackon, held in Nairobi, Deputy Director Cybersecurity at the ICT Authority, Philip Irode, advocated for a collaborative approach in stemming the vice.
Through such forums, we're expecting to upskill, reskill, and even retool the people who are able to support us in, providing cybersecurity professional skills within various government institutions, even corporate entities, as we endeavor on this digitalization program.
We want to make sure people get to know what are the areas they can get into, what do they need to become in cybersecurity. And this conference is hands-on, so we want people to get the hands-on practical skills to become cybersecurity professionals in the future.
Cybersecurity experts in attendance cautioned that cyber criminals were exploring ways to use new technologies such as generative artificial intelligence, AI, to automate and accelerate attacks, creating more effective malware and phishing, underscoring the need to show our professional capacity.
Cyber criminals are not slowing down. They are basically trying to make sure that they will find ways to penetrate our system. We see the statistics which are very high of hacking that has been going on. Where are the skills or the skilled personnel to be able to actually stop some of the cybersecurity cyber criminals?
Factors such as poor cybersecurity in mobile devices, a shortage of cyber professionals, and the vulnerability of smaller companies relying on IT outsourcing are expected to drive cyber activity in 2024. Regina Manyara for the Legends edition.
Kenya is now seeking to adopt swift and comprehensive action to exit from the grey list status of the Financial Action Task Force. The Ministry of Treasury has, in a statement, indicated that Kenya's grey listing puts its financial system under close scrutiny by the International Financial Institution as regards compliance with anti-money laundering, countering terrorism, financing and proliferation of financing obligations. But what exactly is grey listing of a country? Does it have any economic impact? Kamche Menza engaged experts who opined that it's not all doom, as the country only needs to implement the laws to be delisted.
Kenya, being a member of the Eastern and Southern African Anti-Money Laundering Group, a regional body under the Financial Action Task Force that deals with crimes related to money laundering, terrorism financing and proliferation financing, is expected to implement or comply with set regulations to manage effects of these vices, if not end them. Non-compliance, however, has seen member states get into the grey list status.
Anytime you hear something is grey, it means it's not clear. You always hear of grey areas. So when Kenya is put on the grey list, it means it has not done what is expected to stop money laundering and other illicit flows of cash or so-called dirty cash.
Kenya had its MER, the mutual evaluation, in early 2022. And by September, the report was out. And that report highlighted some significant issues that Kenya needs to address to ensure that its anti-money laundering, countering financing of terrorism, and proliferation financing issues were in line.
To this end, Kenya recently enacted a number of laws to align its legal and institutional framework with international standards.
You have our Financial Reporting Center is now not subject to the State Corporations Act. That gives it independence in how it works, which was one of the issues highlighted in the report. You have also the issue that lawyers are now considered reporting entities. A group of companies are now subject to POCAMLA, that is the Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act. It's the Central Bank of Kenya, the Capital Markets Authority, SASRA, the Betting and Licensing Board have now been given more powers in terms of what they can do. That is, again, them not having had these powers was one of the reasons we were put on the list.
You know, when the people come to audit whether you should be on the grey list or not, they don't come regularly. They come after some time. Mm-hmm. So once we come up with new comprehensive rules and regulations about fraud and dirty cash, it will take time before those effects are felt. Mm-hmm. So maybe when they come back next year or whatever they come, there will be changes which will have been implemented because of the new rules. Mm-hmm. And maybe we might be removed from the grey list. Mm-hmm.
The grey listing has implications on the economy.
In the long run, if you are going to invest in Kenya, you probably find it more expensive. Mm-hmm. You find yourself being under more scrutiny. Mm-hmm. Our reputation is going to suffer. Mm-hmm. And we might not get as many investors as expected.
Whereas Kenya now joins Tanzania and South Africa among other countries, Uganda having been recently delisted, experts say there is no cause for panic, assuring that all Kenya requires is to implement the requisite laws.
Sometimes when you are told the reality about what you are doing, mm-hmm. it energizes you to make changes so that you can improve. Mm-hmm. So I think it's also good that the government is saying we are on the grey list, there's nothing to hide, and we're improving on it.
We saw it coming, and potentially that is why the government tried to move very fast to enact this amendment. So FATF cannot stop there. They have to see that we are committed. Are we actually going to implement?
National Treasury has committed to develop a comprehensive strategy to address the deficiencies in order to delist the country, even as it anticipates minimal effects on the country's financial stability and the cost of conducting business. Kamche Menza for the Legends edition.
It's just about 17 minutes past the hour, and it's time for our very first break. Stay with us. Plenty more on the other side of the break.
Shamba ni mbili, yako ni gani? Kwenye star 570 hash. Every 100 shillings unayotumia kwa Lucky Game inakupa 1 entry point ya kuingia kwenye drum ya draw, ambayo inakupa fursa ya kujishindia moja kati ya shamba hizi mbili. Mwisho wa April namtangaza mshindi wa shamba hili la 1.1 million Kenyan shillings na unapata title deed yako safi. Na mwisho wa Mei namtangaza mshindi wa shamba hili la 1.1 million Kenyan shillings, lori za mawe na mchanga. Ploti ndizo hizi. Dial star 570 hash. Title deed ndio hii. Fuka na shake.
To get past pain as your skiza tune, dial star 812 star 502 hash.
You don't have to carry your past pain into your present. Your generation doesn't have to go through the pain you went through. You have what it takes to bring a new life, a new breath, a new atmosphere, a new name into your generation. Don't just sit and watch a repeated pain.
To get past pain, dial star 812 star 502 hash. Star 812 star 502 hash.
Our folktales were also made in such a way that a step parent is wicked, and a step parent is evil.
Yes.
So it came from socialization. If you ask me, the word step is neither good nor bad. It is the meaning that we have given it.
These families or members of these families are the ones that put attitudes in our minds. Because we already start with step. Tena challenge inakuwa kubwa sana kama spouse si supportive. Na ndio spouse akuwe supportive, spouse anakuwa katikati. Alali huku sana na pande hii sana. That already is a diverse way of doing things. There is beauty in diversity.
Welcome back. Female genital mutilation, or FGM, and early marriages continue to be a hindrance in the achievement of a 100% transition for a section of girls in Narok County. However, one secondary school deep in Narok County is keeping its doors open to tens of girls rescued in the nick of time from the outlawed cultural practices. Sarafina Robi reports.
Rekindled hope and immense joy reverberates through their melodious voices as these young girls move in sync to Maasai cultural tunes. Not long ago, the educational aspirations almost faded, dreams almost dashed by retrogressive cultural practices such as female genital mutilation and early marriage. Naserian Lemain, not her real name, wants to be a journalist. This desire has withstood the life challenges.
You've used your creativity in journalism to talk to these students.
Naserian studies at Oleshapani Girls Secondary in Narok South Sub-County. The school began in 2017 with only 24 girls and 3 classrooms. Its students' population has since grown to 800.
So may you shine now and in future.
The principal, Gloria Nkathe, vividly recounts the early years.
Na darasa 3, moja ilikuwa dorm, darasa ingine ilikuwa classroom na ingine ilikuwa ofisi. We still have challenges of teachers, especially 6 teachers against 800. That's a big gap.
School fee for some students was paid in form of farm produce or labor.
Normally what we do, we allow them to bring what they have. If they have beans, if they have maize, if they have firewood, they can come, we agree, and then the students continue staying in school. Some of them also will offer to provide labor.
Narok County Governor Patrick Olentutu recently issued 9 billion shillings worth of bursaries to support the rescued girls.
Kwani nimesikia ya kwamba wasichana wetu wanaendelea kung'ang'ana na masomo yao, na kama vile mimi kila wakati nasema nikifika kwa shule, hatuna biashara ingine hapa kwa shule, wala watoto wetu wasome na kupita mtihani.
According to the area Deputy County Commissioner Felix Kisalu, the national government plans to establish a rescue center within this school.
We were proposing this school sababu iko na the right environment. We even consider expanding tuweke hata rescue center. Ndio wale wasichana ambaye wako kwa taabu, wale tunawatoa kwa wazee, wanakuja hapa wanaingishwa katika masomo.
In the meantime, the doors at Oleshapani Girls Secondary remain open to more girls who dream for a better future. Serafina Robi for Legends Edition.
A family in Nakuru County is seeking medical financial assistance for their kin who is suffering from acute myeloid leukemia, a type of cancer that affects the blood and bone marrow. 31-year-old Beatrice Safande is yet to begin treatment a year after diagnosis due to lack of funds.
For the past 2 years, Beatrice Afande, a resident of Ponda Mali Estate, has been battling acute myeloid leukemia, a devastating form of blood cancer. The 31-year-old single mother of two struggles with emotional and physical pain as she fights for her life amidst poverty and desperation.
Nilipelekwa hospitali, nilianza kugonjeka 2023 mwezi wa pili. Tangu hiyo wakati sijasikia vizuri bado. Maisha yangu imekuwa tu ni hospitali. Hadi nimekosa fees ya watoto. Mtoto alikuwa anasoma Ngalo Academy na result slip yake wamekatalia juu ya pesa, kuna deni bado iko huko.
Beatrice wanted to keep the diagnosis a secret from her 14-year-old son Malcolm Otieno and her 11-year-old daughter Elsie Adhiambo, as she was aware how grave the illness is.
Mwenyewe tena sina kazi na niko mgonjwa bado. Damu inaisha kwa mwili kila saa. Nafaa nifanywe test ya bone marrow, pesa imeshindikana. Nimekaa hospitali miezi 2 ndio nimerudi. ID yangu iko huko. Lakini tena bado nahitaji kwenda huko juu. Sina nguvu kwa mwili na damu pia imeisha yote.
Beatrice has not started treatment because she lacks money.
I will appeal to any Kenyan of goodwill to come for the assistance of this family.
Ningependa mnisaidie niende shule juu mimi nasikia vibaya nikiona wenzangu akienda shule na mimi nimekaa nyumbani.
Donations to support Beatrice can be channeled to M-Pesa number 011-252-7056 under the name Beatrice Afande. Jacqueline Masharia for Legends Edition.
Jinsi ya kungoja kwenye star 570 hash kuna ploti na ni up to 1.1 million Kenyan shillings with a genuine title deed na inakungoja star 570 hash ukana chake.
Space for Hussein last point save here in the fourth.
Following the successful completion of the African Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast, this week marks the exciting return of CAF Interclub action as the CAF Championship League resumes. Etoile du Sahel will take on Esperance at 10 p.m. this Saturday. Catch the action live on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Expertly taken penalty from Yassine Meria.
Good evening. Once again, it's a big welcome to the sports segment of the Legends Edition this Saturday evening. We're glad you're watching KBC Channel 1. We start off with soccer, where Talanta Hela under-17 soccer team thrashed Highway Boys 6-0 in a friendly match played at the Kasarani Stadium today. The game was part of the talent nurturing under the Talanta Hela initiative run by the Kenya Academy of Sports. The youngsters used the match to prepare for the upcoming trials to select players from Monte Verde Academy in Orlando, as well as the Nastic Soccer Academy in Spain. Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababna Mwamba, who match at the Kasarani Annex grounds, reiterated the success of the team was a potent indication of the nation's ability to produce world-beating footballers. He said that the first time in history, the country was entering World Cup qualifiers for all age groups, for both the boys and the girls.
To identify those talents at the earliest possible opportunity and then offer them a pathway to the top. That is what Kenya lacks, and that is what Talanta Hela has put in place a pathway to the top. You can start right from your school in Budalangi or Shimoni or Mandera or Muhuru Bay and then follow that pathway to the very top.
Manuel, Elvira and Darius van Driel are the overnight leaders on 10 under par 203 at the end of the day 3 of the magical Kenya Open that is being hosted at the Spa 71 Muthaiga Golf Club. The 2024 magical Kenya Open has been a tournament of sibling rivalry. Spaniard Manuel Elvira is joint top of the leaderboard on 10 under par 203 alongside Dutchman Darius van Driel. Elvira had round of 4 under par 67, while his brother Nacho had a round of 3 under par 68 to close the day in joint 6th. Elvira, Van and Driel. Meanwhile, Kenya Open Golf Limited Tournament and Director Patrick Obath has said that they will work with local professionals on the game management. Obath, the magical Kenya Open, which is around the DP World Tour, will come to a close on Sunday with 70 golfers who made the cut, playing for a share of the 366.5 million Kenya shillings prize money.
A round of 3 under par 68 to close the day on joint 6th.
The day was really good. I was in position all the time and gave myself as many chances as I could, and I capitalized on the clear chances. And obviously, being on top with my brother is really nice. I hope we play together tomorrow, but it's going to be complicated. But overall, I'm really happy for the both of us.
Meanwhile, Kenya Open Golf Limited Tournament Director Patrick Obath has said that they will work with local professionals on game management.
They were doing reasonably well in the first day and they were going on. Second day, a small error, because now you're under pressure to make the cut. And that small error just means that you're now going to try even harder, whereas in fact you should do the opposite. You should sort of take a step back and wonder, what do I need to do differently to now avoid making the mistake I made? Not to try and say, let me correct the score.
The magical Kenya Open, which is a round of the DP World Tour, will come to a close on Sunday with 70 golfers who made the cut, playing for a share of the 366.5 million shillings prize fund. For Legends Edition, I am Daniel Wahome.
From the rugby circles, Nigel Amaisa is a rugby sensation who put in some stunning performances last year to help Kenya qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympics. The 21-year-old student at the Strathmore University says it has always been his dream to don the Kenyan jersey and make the cut to represent the country at the world's biggest sporting event. Our reporter Emmanuel Ndungu spent a day with the Kenyan international and filed the following report for us.
Behind us right now is the Strathmore Leos rugby team. They're pretty good. They have 8 national team players within the squad, and today we're going to interview one of them, Nigel Amaitsa. He was recruited onto the Kenyan national team last year and helped Kenya qualify for the Olympics. So today we're going to talk to him about his come-up, how he feels about potentially being an Olympian this year, and a few wider topics in the sporting scene in Kenya.
Defense into attack, the Kenyans is absolutely fantastic, and you see some silky footwork there from Amaitsa Nigel, and he tossed down another try. The Kenyans.
The 21-year-old is one of Kenya's biggest young sporting talents right now. Amaitsa captains the Strathmore Leos rugby team and is also a key player for Kenya's national team, also known as Shujaa. He found his passion for rugby when he was just 11 years old at the Western Bulls Rugby Club. He watched them train, got inspired, and joined the team in 2013. During his time at the Western Bulls, there was one team that stood out to him, the Strathmore Leos. He admired their prowess and style of play, and with the support of his parents, he enrolled into the university and began playing for them in 2023.
Where I was staying, there was a rugby team that was training next to our home. So I was like, when I'm free, I used to go to train, kick balls in Western Bulls, at Western Bulls, yeah.
Nigel made an immediate impact on the squad, joining them and quickly leading them to a triumphant victory at the Mbu Sevens tournament and being crowned MVP. The Leos went on to finish an impressive 3rd in the national series last year, with the young star playing a key role in the team's success. This is what a few team members had to say about him.
Well, Nigel Amaitsa Patterson, yes, a hard-working player, a very talented player.
As a teammate, he's so hard-working, industrious, very opportunistic, humble. Anything that we'd want from a teammate, that's Nigel. Yeah.
Something intriguing about him was he joined us and he didn't take longer to settle in the team like a normal player will do, because he just settled in, put in the work, and he got his first call-up to the national team.
The 2023 National 7 Series was a breakthrough tournament for Nigel's career. He was quickly noticed by the Shujaa team and got the call-up to represent Kenya internationally.
Being the MVP in Embu Sevens gave me a foot in the call-up. Being the MVP, then into Dala, I played very well. My passing was good, just like 7 assists.
Nigel didn't expect his recruitment at the time, but was confident that he would get the call eventually, and we can see why. He hit the ground running in his first game at the Olympic qualifiers in Zimbabwe. He put in a stunning performance against Nigeria, scoring a hat-trick of tries and helping Kenya qualify for the Rugby Sevens event at this year's Olympics.
It has always been my dream playing for the Olympics, especially in the Kenyan jersey. So I'd love to play the Olympics.
If Nigel plays in Paris this year, he'll be part of a unique crop of competitors in full-time education while playing on the world's biggest stage. Balancing this life isn't easy, as he goes on to explain.
The main challenges facing during rugby is maybe balancing with my classes in Strathmore. It's actually a bit hard, but I have to cope up with it. So my main challenge is balancing, and then the recovery part of it.
In Kenya, many parents often don't push for their children to participate in high-level sports, typically due to the time commitment needed without any guarantee of financial return. Louis Kasia, the Leo's head coach, urges parents not to discourage their children from participating in sports while still emphasizing the importance of a quality education.
Parents are right, pushing their kids to also get some education on the side and do sport on the other side. So my urge would be to the parents not to deny their boys or their girls to venture into sports. You never know. Somebody might play a game for the national team, gets noticed outside there, and is called up to those professional sides and becomes a professional player. Yeah.
Kenya will co-host the World Under-20 Rugby Championship with South Africa between the 15th and 30th of July this year. This is bound to inspire the upcoming generation of Kenyan rugby players and expose them to international competition. Nigel, who's well placed to comment on the current state of youth rugby, urges the government to invest more in a pathway where young talent can thrive.
Children everywhere know football, but when it comes to rugby, there are very few. So if the government comes in and invests, rugby will go far. I believe there's enough talent in Kenya, but we only need the enough exposure and the enough investment to get them playing.
So, Kenya has another sport to keep an eye on during these next Olympics. Our country is best known for its runners, but Nigel has high hopes for what his team could achieve this year.
We as Shujaa, we have a belief, and we believe in bringing something during the Olympics. We don't care which medal, but we are actually hoping for the gold medal. Yeah.
All athletes need a support system in the background. For Nigel, that's his family, and he has a small message for them.
I believe they've been with me since, provision for everything, for my jerseys, my boots. So I'd like to shout out to my parents, then my family, my brothers, sisters, and my niece. Yeah.
For Legends Edition, I'm Emmanuel Ndungu.
Tap. On the continental basketball qualifiers, the national men's basketball team Morans lost their opening match 69-90 to the host country Tunisia in the 2025 FIBA Afro Basketball Championship qualifiers in Monastir last night. Tunisia, who are tipped favorites to win, won the first and second quarters 25-11 and 25-15 respectively. Morans backed the third quarter 2019 before losing the fourth quarter 2026. Tunisia's Jawahar Jawadi and Kenya's Albert Odero were the top scorers with 8 and 25 points respectively. In other matches, Guinea lost 76-76 to Angola, while Ivory Coast defeated Madagascar 77-69. Kenya is currently taking on 11-time champions Angola in their second Group E match.
Yeah. At the moment, showing they find themselves back in this one.
On the Mozart Bet Cup, giant killers Bungoma Stars advanced to the round of 16 of the FKF Cup with a hard-fought 1-0 win over Talanta FC at the Police Sacco Stadium. In other matches, Bomachoge Borabu Football Club lost 3-1 to SS Assad at the Kenyenya grounds. Sela with the report.
Changanisha na upepo basi yatupatia hali nzuri sana ya mechi na leo tunatarajia mechi nzito.
Host Talanta FC threatened fans through Augustine Kuta, but Bungoma goalkeeper Geoffrey Nyongesa was up to the task. 8-year-old shortstopper made another decent save to deny the Talanta FC marksman 7 minutes into the encounter. However, the deadlock was broken in the 38th minute when Meshak Makoa pounced to beat Talanta FC custodian Isaiah Wakasala with a low shot. En route to the round of 32, Bungoma FC eliminated 2015 winners Bandari FC. In other matches, Bomachoge Borabu Football Club lost 3-1 to SS Assad at Kenyenya grounds. Silibwet humbled Sofapaka 1-0 at Silibwet Green Stadium, while Compel FC trounced Kajiado FC 2-0 at Pampepa Ilal Stadium Webuye. For Legends Edition, I'm Sela Onyango.
And from the boxing scene, Nairobi-based boxers dominated the 2024 Intermediate Boxing Tournament that ended on Saturday in Ongata Rongai, Kajiado County. Grace Atieno, Christopher Juma and Irene Akinyi all won their categories to book their slots in the Kenya Open Tournament, slated for April this year. Akinyi with the report.
Nairobi's Grace Atieno defeated Esther Mwihaki of Embu in the 47 kilograms category, while Irina Akinyi saw off Nakuru Selino Sachi on referee's top contest decision.
Kwenye mchezo kuna kushinda na kuna kushindwa. Ukishinda unatakikana ufurahie, ukishindwa pia unatakikana ufurahie. Manake ni kama potea pata. Unaweza shindwa, unaweza kushindana.
In the men's 57 kilograms category, Christopher Juma of Nairobi defeated compatriot Asman Zauri on points, while Derrick Omondi defeated Musa Juma on points.
Game imekuwa fiti, opponent nimepata ni muoga na God atafanya mambo yake nikachukua.
In the heavyweight category, Charles Shitanda of Prisons humbled Steve Okoyo of Vihiga.
Kumekuwa na umaarufu wa vijana sana kuweza compete kwa hizi michezo, whereby at least like in Kajiado tumetoka from nowhere, as Morans are well known, but at least to come up and we are giving at least other teams a run of their money, and I'm sure that at least Kajiado we're expecting at least to be the champions at the end of the day.
Wanafanya kazi ngumu sana kufundisha vijana techniques, tactics za boxing, lakini muhimu zaidi ni kwamba katika hii level waweze kukuwa na foundation nzuri. So basics za mchezo wetu wa boxing ni muhimu sana kwao.
The 2024 Intermediate Boxing Tournament is the second championship organized by the Boxing Federation of Kenya to expose upcoming boxers, with gold medalists qualifying for the Kenya Open Tournament in April. 122 boxers took part in the tournament. Faith Akinyi for Legends Edition.
And that brings us the wrap on the sports segment of the Legends Edition this Saturday evening. Glad that you're watching and that you'll be with us again through the week until next Saturday for great sporting activities and results from the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, your #1 sports partner. Remember that after this Don't forget to make a date with the Bridge over Congo, with Mfumu, Marie-Jose, and DJ Extraordinaire Salim. Just after this for the Rumba lovers. For now, it's me, Top Hiliambila, signing off. And over to my colleague, Edmund. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Topi. Well, thank you for staying tuned with us. And the news just reaching us is that 3 pupils of Madili Junior Secondary School, located along the Kenyatta Road in Murang'a, have died in a road accident that occurred along the Gitugi-Murang'a Road this evening. The school bus was traveling from Athioya when the driver lost control of the vehicle on a slope along the road and it overturned. At least 3 pupils have been confirmed dead. More details in our subsequent bulletins. Stay safe. And we're glad you're with us. Just to clarify, Topi's excitement, there is no dancing this evening. Our sign language interpreter has been Anne Wangeshi. Stay safe. God bless. I'm Edmund Mudibo.
In the name of Jesus Christ, Mungu anatarajia ukanyange hatua mbele. Wengine wametawaliwa na uchawi, wakati wao umefika. Wewe umenitazama siku ya leo. Neema na kibali cha Bwana kikawe juu ya maisha yako.
Shamba ni mbili, yako ni gani? Kwenye star 570 hash, every 100 shillings unayotumia kwa lucky game inakupa 1 entry point ya kuingia kwenye drum ya draw, ambayo inakupa fursa ya kujishindia moja kati ya shamba hizi mbili. Mwisho wa April namtangaza mshindi wa shamba hili la 1.1 million Kenyan shillings, na unapata title deed yako safi. Na mwisho wa Mei namtangaza mshindi wa shamba hili la 1.1 million Kenyan shillings.